Hello, happy Friday, you beautiful geniuses. I hope you've had an amazing week. This is just coming through, so I decided to hop on here and share some of the feelings with you and let you resonate with it. The theme is kind of about like trusting and enjoying what's in front of us instead of insisting on something different, which is slightly piggybacking that expectations. That last video is what it feels like, so it makes sense that it transitioned into this. But our reality is a reflection, so that reflection gives us the code to what's in. And so when you reach this center place, this heaven, this knowing, this like divine golden flow over you, and you're focusing, you're certain it's done now. And you're certain of your faith. You know it. You feel it. You feel the truth. You feel the resonance. And you're in a place of effortlessness. And I recently just listened to Neville Goddard for like the first time, really, and was like in love with the translations and the words he uses and the examples. And he was talking about life. I'm going to loosely use his example to explain that life, when you're trying to force it by changing the outside world, is like squeezing water, right? Like you can't really hold it in your hand. But when you go within to that epic, quiet, knowing place of creation and you're just in peace from here where everything's added onto you, surrendering, which isn't inaction, it's like complete like action with the big boys coming to and through you with source, is like the equivalent of cupping your hands in the water. Like you can create from here and you can play. So that visual versus the squeezing the water, tying it into perspectives and expectations and seeing it and pushing against it is like squeezing that water instead of realizing, which we can only ever have these growths in knowing when we're in it. So part of it is like, that's beautiful that you even had that experience because you have that reflection to go deeper. So when you're going deeper and you're in the peace and you're in the stillness and you're in meditation, creating the space, you can find things like that everything is working for you and that you change within and it changes everything outside, which that will make sense to you at the perfect absolute moment that it's meant to. But it's, oh God, it's such a beautiful feeling. Being in the flow, that golden flow, I wish that on every single person in the entire world. It's literally shining on all of us at all times. And I was not connected to it for a very long time. And it's just, there's nothing more beautiful. When you hear people like explain near-death experiences, if you've ever heard any of those, like NDE is what I've heard it called, like the abbreviation term. And they talk about this bright light and this like golden, I've heard it like golden or white or whatever. I think that we all interpret frequencies a little bit differently, and vibration and words and things like that. And this like uplifting feeling of peace, like that's what you reach in the deepest meditation. Like you just feel weightless and incredible. It feels incredible. And I don't think that we should have to die to experience that. We should be doing it now. And I say die, kind of like Abraham says, kind of like irreverently, because there is no death. There is only non-physical, your soul coming into this physical experience and then going back out to this physical experience. And it's really beautiful when you can lift that fear and let it go, because when you get in there, you have this knowing, you receive these downloads, you see the information, you feel between the physical and the non-physical, and it's just beauty. It's all love. It's literally God is love. Like you feel it, you know it. And in the meantime, you kind of take people's word on the way there, but everything is within, and you getting there and getting it is like, oh, it's the best. It's the best. is where we are all headed. And there's only deeper and deeper and deeper levels once you get there. It's never ending, and there's always more love, which is the most beautiful realization that, it just gets to be, life gets to be so good. So the creation of the life we imagine can only happen, which is kind of what we're talking about with perception and perspective and expectations. You have to reach that level of expectation from the inside. Because when we're outside focused and we have expectations, it's conflicting with beliefs and things like that on the inside, and potentially. And what's on the inside is what's radiated outside. So you can only change your standing. It's like you're standing in front of a mirror, right? Your reality is a mirror of you. And you can't go try to change your outfit on the mirror. You have to change, here it's be on the outside, but you have to change within, and then it reflects in the mirror. You get what I'm saying? So it's not possible to be really successful in the way that you can be aligned with source and create by force. Through faith and knowing and that creation within, you realize that it's all possible. And that you realize that nothing that you ever want to, like, you can look at an image of people that look happy and perfect, and you can scan. Consumerism has us looking, and there's nothing wrong with consumerism and owning things like this life is meant to be enjoyed. But consuming for the purpose of finding something inside of you, finding happiness, peace, completion, that's what I'm talking about here, not enjoying this beautiful reality, which is meant to be enjoyed. So consumerism, in using it to complete you and fill you, is a hollow promise. It's an empty dream, because you can look and you can say, okay, they have that bag, those shoes, and look how happy they are, and they have friends over, and like, I want everything in this picture. And so you try to buy the placemats and the table settings and everything, and the table and the house that the people are in, and create situations, and they'll probably never feel fully satisfying and amazing, because there's nothing that you can ever buy that will make people happy, complete, satisfied. That only comes from within, only. So thinking that something outside of you, anything outside of you, a person, a relationship, like anything, will make you whole, that's the I'll be happy when syndrome. It's a lie. It's thinking that when I live there, I'll be happy. When I live there, I'll be happy. And the actual, what you want is living in heaven, which is a state where everything we desire is, and everything is added onto you from there. So when you actually have that image and you look at the opposite end, where the person is peaceful and happy and has these deep meditation practices and that connection to source, and that their cup is full and running over, when you feel that happy, you attract all the same happy things. So the outside image could look the same, but one of them is hollow and one of them is overflowing with golden light and riches. You attract all of the things externally because of how you feel internally. And so to the world, it can look the same and you might not understand, but we've all chased this and know that that's not it, right? But when you find this, everything starts lining up around you. Your timing's incredible. Your friendships are incredible. The things happening in your life are better than you could ever imagine. And you didn't have to externally force it and grind and all of those things. You let that go. And in the surrendering, you find this power and this aligned action. And it's just incredible. This internal space of perfection, this heaven, that's what gives us our deepest desires. That's what causes our physical world to change, because we've changed the internal world. We've changed what's presenting to the mirror, so the mirror changes, if that makes sense. All of the markers that you have in your life that are important to you, which we're all different. We all have different, maybe some people it's vacations, maybe some people it's trips or cars or friendships or the type of house you live in that just fills you up inside. But you really get there, all of those things, from this place of alignment, which is like the most blissful, amazing thing. And it's funny because once you're there, you don't even want it. You don't even care about it because you feel so good. But then it all comes and you fully enjoy it more than you could have ever enjoyed it before, because you're approaching it. You're not happy because of these things like we try to be. I just need that and I'll be happy. We're happy. And then we enjoy all of these things. And each experience, like instead of flying by, it goes by slowly and it's savored, and it's incredible. So you can look at these side by side and there can be maybe confusion to a passing person, but a deeper look into the emotions and the actual happiness and satisfaction and fulfillment shows that they're opposite ends of polarity. That's that Jim Carrey quote that I've talked about before, where he famously said, I wish every person could be rich and famous so they could see that that's not it. Because a lot of times when we're over here, we see the images, we see the magazines and the people, and oh my gosh, if I had that kind of success, I would be so happy. And then you hear these stories of like celebrities being unhappy, and you're like, how could they? How could they? It looks perfect. But it's all people are people. They just have a career where they get to do something fun like acting versus, being a janitor. But you can be a janitor and be so deeply fulfilled. Like it's all what's within that radiates outward. And so not to say that, there's any limit to anything, that it's unlimited. You are co-creating with the divine. And you are not going to want anything that any other person wants necessarily. There will be some things that line up, like I'm creating that too, but you're totally different canvases and totally different potentials of where you're going. And you realize in that deep space that it comes back to authenticity. So we can get lost in our mind, trying to think and trying to organize it all and trying to sort it out and figure it out and force, but you can never get there from there. Eventually, I pray that every person realizes that, because you only reach what you were always searching for if somehow your life either burns down and brings you to your knees, or you have this beautiful epiphany, or however it happens that you're led to set down your thoughts finally, that you're circling over and over and over this monkey mind trying to solve this problem, just creating more of this problem because your superpower is where you put your focus. When we set that down, and for me, it's getting into nature. That's just like the cheat code. But it's really into that stillness. And then you can use it as a reflection to find that within. Because if the whole world's a reflection, the stillness is that source within you. The nature is that source within you, reflected. That inner stillness, you can feel the peace. It's radiated outward in nature, and it helps us quiet the mind. And it helps us reconnect to what was always inside of us, that we can get too busy with distractions and all of the way the world's manifested to even see. We can miss what's inside of us with this monkey mind, because the whispers are very quiet and they're worth listening to. The business of life, it just can take over, and it can force us into mental exhaustion and deep unhappiness over here, especially if you're attempting to organize all of these thoughts and facts gathered, trying to find yourself and trying to find your self-worth. If you don't feel valuable, you don't love yourself, and you're trying to get approval of others. I just have to be perfect and then everything will fall into place. I just need this thing to change or this person to change. And it's all external to you. You can never get there from there, because all we crave as humans, like if you really boil it down, this whole game comes back to love. We want to be loved. We want to feel loved. And when you look for love outside of you, externally, and other people and other relationships frantically, you're trying and you miss it. Because life is fluttering and busy, and it's not about trying. It's when we give up and we surrender and we set down the busyness and the thinking, and in that state of surrender, through meditation, usually we find the stillness, and we begin receiving that golden flow, that stream of love that we've always searched for. And it's the purest love ever. And you feel your worth and your value and your inherent perfection from the time of birth in who you are today in this role, with every quote unquote mistake that's ever made. You see that it's innocent and it got you here. And you're here to learn. And a sin is just a mistake, right? We don't need to hold on to our mistakes and keep reliving them and keep thinking of them and keep anchoring ourselves in the past forward. No. The past is meant to be let go. It brought us here. Where are you going? How long are you going to tell those stories? When are you going to talk about where you're going in the future? And you find your inherent perfection in that moment and your wholeness and everything. And you find the love for yourself. And when you find that, you find your love for everybody and for everything. And you find that feeling of being alive in your life. You find a replacement for any fear and worry you ever carried, and it's faith and knowing and love. And we find all that is the source of it all. You feel it, and you just have this epic exhale and this euphoric remembering, and you expand in that area in ways that you could have never imagined. Your dreams get bigger than they could have ever been. There's a hawk soaring right as I look out the window. We find our authentic self from here. You find your gems, you find your diamonds, and you remember how loved you are and how perfect you are right here, right now, today. Right here. It's all perfect. And it's all inside. And it was never outside. And you can see clear as day how hollow that is. And how silly it was that you thought that. And it's kind of innocent and cute. And like, if I didn't think that, I couldn't have, gotten to the point where then I found it here, and it's also worth it. And so then you begin from this loving place to see the reflection, like really see it. And you begin auditing and letting go of things, and you begin to see yourself in everything. And you see this reflection of this powerful world inside, that the universe is us, and that God is everything and infinite. And that word is the closest human word we can get to describing it, and it just falls so short. And you feel the love, and you realize Abraham had this beautiful way of saying it, that my husband was even like playing with it and taking it a step further, that like God is the power plant. And so then he is the electricity, and it's the creator of us, this toaster. We are the toaster. And with the electricity coming through us, we are co-creating, only ever possible with source coming through you, and we can focus and manifest this beautiful toast. And it's just beautifully illustrated how everything is a co-creation, everything is divine, and this powerful creation by God of the universe around us, which is then a reflection of as above, so below in Hermetic principles. It's us. And you realize, and it's everything we're interacting with. So it's beautiful and powerful, and it's all that is. It's creation. It's the energy that creates worlds, and it's truly unlimited. And you realize that we are always perfect in that seat of beingness here. And the purpose, you feel it. It's joy. It's love. And the stream of all that is never ending. And we can only feel the fraction of it that our consciousness is raised to. And so as you enjoy it more and you bliss out and you surrender and release more, you feel your consciousness rising. You feel the non-physical aiding you. You feel this euphoric love and joy. And you're filling up and you're getting to deeper levels of this love. And then from here, you can't wait to meditate every day and fill up and create. You wake up feeling it. And then you go into the world to create, and it's blissful, and you flow, and you see your role as this beautiful creation. And we know that we're just playful, and we just want to play, not what the world tells you to play, or not what others tell you to do or to be. That feels so yucky. You would never put on a mask and go against yourself. It feels so unaligned. You'd have to leave this golden light to go over there to make others happy, and it's just so silly at some point. But it's terrifying when you're over here and you couldn't let people possibly see who you really were, until you get there, and then you're like, masks off, and you just feel your worth and your purpose, and you let go of the masks you once wore and the roles you played, the beliefs you accepted as mandatory because of tradition or whatever it was, and you just feel the alignment with source coming through you, and you feel your way there through this good feeling. And through that hell yes, through that joy, that's the golden flow. Our emotions guide us of feeling the God, feeling source within, loving us and playing with us, creating with us. And the vibration is always being held for us to find. And the closest word that I can come up with is joy. When you follow your joy, that hell yes, maybe that's the closest word I can find, you find it and you stay in it. So if you could just focus on feeling good, you would stay in that alignment and not deciding that anything external to you is worth shutting yourself down to people please. But that is a tall order said in a small sentence. And it comes with practice and work, and it comes with going with it. And when you get there, I promise you, you'll know instantly everything within, and you'll feel the truth and alignment. And it's something that I can point there and I can describe it with all the words, but words are words. You have to experience it yourself and you have to know. And only you can cultivate that practice and that enjoyment if that's where your soul says, hell yes. So wherever this leads, I hope you have a beautiful day and a beautiful weekend. And I hope that you find love and joy and alignment and inspiration and creativity. And I hope you follow what feels really good, not what you feel like you should do or you have to do. But find some joy. Find what feels good. Make some good plans. Weekends are an epic, like a glass of champagne with the sunset. Friends, brunch, quiet time by yourself, auditing your house and picking things to donate and flow that abundance back in the world. Whatever it is. Sometimes it's internal. We need to quiet and kind of just go within and prioritize that. Hit that yoga mat, get it outside if it's not raining. Get whatever grounding, barefoot in the grass with your morning cup of coffee, like whatever, wherever it leads. That art project that's been in the back of a closet, go get it out. Playing the piano, that's it. Whatever it is, enjoy your weekend and be certain it is done and enjoy it. So go enjoy that beautiful day. Start right now. Thank you for being here. Remember to follow that intuition, follow that guidance wherever it leads. Leave a comment if you feel so inspired and had any thoughts to share your beautiful genius with other people. Because when you create and put things into the world through comments or love or thinking to call somebody, whatever you do, it gets where it needs to go and it creates that ripple effect. So go and do it and be your beautiful, unique, only one of you that there exists in the world out of billions of people. Have an amazing day.